My name is Joshua Cruz.
My name is Trevor Boykin.
My name is Cassie Ray. Government name is Matthew White.
I am half black, half Chamorro.
I am half black, half white.
I am African American. I am Haitian.
I am aware of the events that occurred in regards to police brutality. I've seen it all on social media. I go there for my news, all social platforms.
I always see posts on Facebook about just the police brutality going on in the States, and it's a really scary issue. So it's not an issue that particularly affects me out here on island, but my family back home in the States, it's something that is relevant to them. So it's a scary revelation.
How could you not know about it? You know, with social media and everything that's going on, it's hard to ignore it. It's almost kind of like it happens so much that I feel like people have become desensitized to it in a sense. I think that's kind of fucked up.
I found out about police violence mostly through social media. It's hard to scroll through Facebook nowadays without seeing at least 12 different posts about the violence that's going on. Something is wrong, profoundly wrong.
It's horrible. Like I think it's systematic racial profiling against minorities for reasons that's far deeper than the average person probably care to understand. The thing about America, I always like to say, is if you have a fucked up foundation, the house is going to be fucked up. So these problems stem long before, police brutality. It goes back to slavery. It goes back to the treatment of minorities. This is just the end result, and the result we got to pay for making that fucked up foundation.
I honestly think that there's something really wrong with America's judicial system for that to happen, and then for most of it to just go unpunished. Because it really is just unwarranted violence. There's no real need for it to happen, yet it's happening on a regular basis.
How old were you when you first came across an event of police brutality?
I think I was 13. I was outside, I was playing ball with a couple of my homies or whatever. My uncles and shit in the back, they drinking, having fun.
I cannot call what age I was, but I knew about the Rodney King beating. Then as far as the past few years of the brutality that's been happening.
Doing whatever old niggas do in the backyard while young niggas playing ball. Police came back, they got a domestic disturbance call, I guess, in the house next door. The lady was fighting with her husband or whatever. Ironically, they were Mexican. But they came over and they questioned my uncle, and they didn't even go to the fucking house that had the problem. They seen them stop right there, got to questioning them. One of my uncle's friends, I don't remember his name, don't remember him, so to speak. I just remember them throwing him on the ground, kind of stomping him, kind of beating the hell out of him, since they even tased him. When he had nothing, he wasn't even part of the call in the first place.
The first time I remember was when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I had just seen in the news just how people can be treated, and just how unfair it could be.
They responded to an event that had nothing to do with the fucking event they were originally called from. At the time, I didn't understand it. I just remember my father telling me, he's like, yo, just anytime this kind of shit happens, just keep quiet and be respectful. And at the time, I didn't know how, what he was saying or why he was saying. I didn't understand it. But, now being older, I get kind of how fucked up that was.
So are you familiar with the instances of police brutality on Guam?
I am not. I've never seen or encountered any.
Honestly, I am ill-informed on police violence going on Guam. It's something that's hardly, or at least something that I hardly hear about and see about. And I guess it's because it's something that doesn't happen very often, and when it does, it's something that's just not very talked about.
I'm not familiar with any events on Guam.
Yeah.
No, I never heard of the police doing anything brutal to, a minority, but then again, it's Guam, so this might sound crazy. Everybody here is of different descent, different color, different background, and so many different entities and demographics of people that I haven't heard anything. But, if it is going on, so my stance is the same as in America. A fucked up situation is a fucked up situation regardless of what happens.
Even if those events have happened over 1,000 miles away from Guam, do you feel like you should be concerned?
In hints. It's not so big on Guam, and on Guam it's actually surprising considering how diverse of a population we have here, how there isn't more issues with people not getting along. So on Guam we have a relatively low amount of police brutality and police violence, and I think that's something we should be really appreciative of here.
Yes, I should be concerned because I have families. I have 2 sisters. I'm concerned about their safety because obviously they're half black too. So, you know, who knows, maybe one day they might end up in the same predicament too. And like my pops, you know, he's black.
So even if those events have happened over 1,000 miles away, you're stationed here now, and it's still going on strongly in the mainland. So how much does it still affect you, or does it still affect you instead?
It affects me to a sense. I think more than anything, like I said, it affects me, but it probably don't affect me as much as I should. Because I'm not gonna lie, it hurts in much that it's kind of like it's the norm. I don't accept it, but I know people look at it right now. You see something on social media, Facebook, you read a news article, you scroll right past it. It can say the most fucked up headline ever, but we scroll right past it because it happens so much that it's like we become desensitized to it, and that's horrible.
Do you feel that having an African American background sort of adds to your concern about this issue happening in the mainland?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like I said, it's not an issue that affects me so much out here, but my family and stuff in the States, they really are impacted by it, and it's a scary reality for them to know that I could just be walking down the street minding my own business and be a victim.
Yes, being African American does add concern, or I'm concerned. It makes me more concerned because I am half black. And what's to say, well, a racist or a crooked cop sees me, you know, and just points me out to everybody because I'm black.
More than anything, it's like, it happens so much. There's so much that people that don't know that goes on behind the scenes. You know, the shit that happened before these cameras on the uniform and before camera phones or smartphones, whatever you want to call it, it's been going on forever. Like I said, this new era of technology just opens a gateway for people to see it more. So it's caught more. But man, like, it's there. It's probably happening right now somewhere, to be honest with you. It makes it very personal because, I mean, I feel like they target black people more than anybody. And I feel like it goes so much deeper than that. And don't get me wrong, like, we as people, we do have to do better. We as black people, we have to do better. The shit that goes on in some of these neighborhoods is fucking ridiculous. But at the same time, you know, if it doesn't strike you personally as an African American, then, you know, you might want to do some reflecting on yourself and your values and, you know, what really matters to you in life. I think an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. I forgot who quoted that, but just because something doesn't affect you directly, it doesn't affect your surroundings, I think that's a selfish way of thinking. I think if there's a problem going on in America, and this is an American territory, and you consider yourself American citizens, you should definitely be concerned with the problems that go on there. I'm not saying go out and start a whole movement or anything like that, but at least be educated. And if you can do something about it, and if you can speak up about it, educate yourself and speak up about it, because it is an injustice. Regardless of where you're at in this fucking world, it's an injustice.
I'm saying we ain't safe from the higher power. Death every second, every minute, every hour. Yeah, we ain't safe from the higher power. We still here trying to fight the power. We ain't safe from the higher power. Death every second, every minute, every hour. Yeah, we ain't safe from the higher power. We still here trying to fight the power. Everything around me. The money, dollar bill.